Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. We have breaking news. The Texans have traded for Jags wide receiver Christian Kirk before the start of NFL free agency. Nick Caserio, he's in the lab, he's in the kitchen, he's cooking it up, and the Texans just got another weapon for C.J. Stroud. Yeah, let's go. Let's get pumped. I am so excited. I was sitting around and we were talking about, it's a slow day yesterday. All the moves happened yesterday. Nothing's going on today. And then all of a sudden, Nick Caserio goes, bam! How's that for a move for you? The trade details are in. The Texans are going to receive Christian Kirk, wide receiver, and the Jags are getting a 2026 7th round pick, a king's ransom for Christian Kirk. I'll get into more of the trade details, the cost of everything, and the contract of Christian Kirk. But just at face value, grade the trade, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts on the Texans getting Christian Kirk for a 2026 7th round pick. Go down in the comment section and give me your grade. It's a B+ for me. It's the only thing keeping it from an A, the contract a little bit more than I would have hoped for. And then obviously he's had some injury issues the past couple seasons, but you're starting out on the right foot. You're already making sure you're getting weapons for C.J. Stroud, and you're taking somebody away from your division rival. I know they were set to cut him regardless, but still, you're getting somebody who's played in the AFC South. He knows the division. He knows the Texans. He knows the Colts. He knows the Tennessee Titans. So I think this is a really good move. It adds another weapon for C.J. Stroud in a wide receiver room that's been heavily depleted from last season. The only reason why I'm giving it a B and not an A, though, is like I said, it all is in the contract details. This coming from Tom Pelissero, talking about a 2026 7th round pick for Christian Kirk. And then it said the Texans are set to take on Christian Kirk's existing contract. The reason why they're able to get him for a 7th round pick, which is set to pay him $16.5 million in 2025, which is also the final year of his deal. The next move that I'm really interested to see, do the Texans go ahead and extend Christian Kirk to lower that cap number this season moving forward? Because it's not out of the realm of possibility whatsoever. He's on the final year of his deal, but if the Texans were to sign him in free agency regardless, I would have thought it would have been a 2 or 3 year deal because he's only 28 years old, a lot of experience in the NFL, 5'11", 200 pounds, out of Texas A&M, coming back to Texas, Christian Kirk. I'm so pumped to see him in those battle reds and those navy blues for the Houston Texans. I'm really pumped to see what this offense is going to look like with Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, and now whoever else they add in the NFL draft. I'll talk about that in just a moment, but if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. When news happens, we break it down here on the channel all year long. That's what Texans Today is always about. We're the #1 channel here on YouTube for good reason, because we cover the Texans like nobody else. 24/7, 365. We got you covered. So if you want free Texans coverage all year long, we haven't even gotten started with NFL free agency, the draft, everything else. We got you covered here on the channel. Let's take a deeper dive into Christian Kirk's numbers over the past 4 seasons. Like I said, the past 2, injury riddled a little bit. Played 8 games in 2024, 12 games in 2023. But 2022 had over 1,000 yards in 2021 with Arizona, was on the precipice right there of 1,000 yards. So he is a talented receiver when he's on the field. The only problem has been those injuries over the past 2 seasons. But hey, adding him to this Texans wide receiver depth chart, adding him to the room is massive, because now Nico Collins has a running mate, because I wasn't really, trusting in John Mechie. I wasn't really sure in how Xavier Hutchinson was going to progress into this next season. The Texans were obviously looking at targets in the NFL draft at the wide receiver spot. They talked to Emeka Egbuka at the NFL Combine, among others. I think this move tells me one thing. The Texans are going offensive line in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft, and I'll tell you why. They went out and got a wide receiver, the very first move that they did in NFL free agency, let's say for this season because they saw the offensive line moves that already happened. The Bears got two of the best interior offensive linemen through trades in Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. The Chiefs got the very best interior offensive lineman in Trey Smith, which they tagged at the very beginning of the offseason. You're looking at other guys. Mekhi Becton coming from the Eagles, not really proven. He's the next best guy. And then you have Drew Dahlman for the Falcons and then Banks from the 49ers. I think the Texans see this free agency class in the offensive line, interior, even the exterior, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? Going through the draft is the way to get the offensive linemen. We're not paying offensive linemen in free agency. We're going to continue to try to draft guys on the interior. So that tells me wide receiver, maybe not out of the question if one of the guys they absolutely love fall to 25, but the chances of them going O-line skyrocket with this move. I would put it right now at about an 85% chance that the Texans are going O-line in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. Like I said, unless a wide receiver or if there's a can't-miss prospect at like defensive line or in the secondary that they absolutely love, but I am almost positive that they are leaning towards offensive line in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. The other domino which this affects, we've been talking all offseason. Will the Texans bring back Stefon Diggs? 31, hitting the free agency market is, expected to get anywhere from $13 to $15 to $17 million a year based on what website you look at. I think this takes the Texans out of the running for Stefon Diggs. They went ahead and got Christian Kirk. I could see them adding another, smaller name wide receiver in free agency, maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick in the NFL draft as well. But I don't think they're spending any more big money at the wide receiver spot. And Diggs, for sure, is going to get more than $10 million, $11 million a year in a new contract. I don't think the Texans are willing to pay that. I think he's on the move somewhere else. I was a huge Diggs fan. I wanted them to try to make it work, try to bring him back. Obviously, they didn't think that was going to work. So I would believe from this move, the Texans are not in on Stefon Diggs anymore this offseason. I would say moving forward as we get into NFL free agency, I could see the Texans looking kind of like they did last year at a lot of bargain bin free agents, guys at positions to add depth. They have a lot of their own free agents. They've already re-signed a couple guys, Agumba Wale. They re-signed Kurt Heinisch as well. I think they're going to prioritize filling in the gaps of the depth and then looking in the NFL draft for possibly another starting offensive lineman, possibly another wide receiver to add in the first 3 rounds of this year's NFL draft. That's my take on Stefon Diggs. What about you, though? Do you think this move means no more Stefon Diggs in Houston? They're out on re-signing Diggs? Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Give me a yes, give me a no. I'm really interested to see what y'all have to say. Guys, it's starting. The NFL offseason is here, and I am so ready to break it all down with you here at Texans Today. Make sure, hit me up on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs. My DMs are always open. If you want to chop it up, if you want to talk ball, I'm always available. And hey, if you think the Texans won today with this trade, if you think they got better as a team, go down and hit that sub button because it's going to be a fun offseason, and I'm ready for the Texans to dominate the AFC South next year and go after that Lombardi that we have so preciously been watching for the past 20-some-odd years as this franchise has been a part of the NFL. I'm excited about Christian Kirk. Once again, the Texans trading a 2026 7th-round pick for Christian Kirk, adding him to their wide receiver room.